in. Here we are in the kitchen with John Rivers. Welcome back.
Thank you, Barbara.
You know, I can't stop looking at your cookbook. There are so many incredible recipes in here, John.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. We put so much time into this, and it reflects our life and the entire journey getting here.
Well, it's a history, right?
It is.
Yeah, it's called The Southern Cookbook by John Rivers. But honestly, when I look at it, I think family, and I think it kind of gets me nostalgic about some of the recipes that I've had in my family. So it's really a cool cookbook. But one of the coolest things we're going to do today is straight out of the cookbook, and it's called Krispy Kreme bread pudding. It sounds almost sinful.
This is one of our it is our most decadent dessert that we serve at the smokehouse, and it's one of our fan favorites.
I can imagine.
Now, this original recipe was inspired by Paula Deen. I saw it on her show and researched it, found a few different variations, and came up with our own.
Good, you tweaked it.
And it is extremely, extremely sweet, and actually uses Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay, no other donut is going to work, right?
Krispy Kreme, I found, is the sweetest, and it's got the most glaze on it.
Okay.
And that's why it lends so very much to this recipe. Now, all I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and just cut these up. You can cut them, you know, quarter them, eighth them, just get them into little bite-sized pieces, and ultimately it's all going to cook together. Okay, and all these sugars plus all the bread is going to lend to the final product. Now, a bread pudding is a traditional, it's an old English pudding, and it's done with different styles of bread. And you want something that's kind of hearty, because most bread puddings you actually let soak overnight. Okay, so that all the bread takes up a lot of that juice.
Right.
And then when it cooks, you want it to be nice and soft in the middle. So there's a lot of pieces to this one.
I know,
If you read the ingredients to me, I'll add them in.
This is the pudding part. The first thing we do is to add 1 cup of sugar.
Okay, 1 sugar.
All right.
Which you wouldn't think we would need with all the sugar, but
I know.
it doesn't hurt.
Hey, the more sugar we have, the better. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, softened.
Okay, it's important. You know, whenever you start to bake, always take your butter out and take your eggs out. And let them get to room temperature.
I have heard that. That's good. Okay. 2 cups of half and half.
Okay, half and half is important because it's going to be thicker than typical milk.
Yes.
And then because you want that the inside of it to be nice and thick. Okay.
Okay, good. Let's do 2 eggs.
Okay, 2 eggs. You're going to go right in.
Look at him crack those eggs. Now, you can tell you're a chef.
Yeah, stand back.
No, you do it great. You do great. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon.
Cinnamon goes so well with this dish because I just love those flavors of it.
Cinnamon goes well with everything. All right, go ahead and put in the vanilla, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple.
Okay.
You've already measured that out.
Took that, and it's important you drain it, so you don't want all that juice to go in there. Okay.
More sugar, John. That's just lots and lots of sugar, right? Loving it. 3/4 a cup of raisins.
Okay, some nice raisins. Going to give it some body.
All right, now here we go with our Krispy Kreme. 1 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts cubed.
Should I save one off to the side?
Well, I don't know. I should probably try it to be sure it's okay.
Just to make sure it's nice and fresh. And actually, if you use about a day-old or 2-day-old donut...
How do you have them sitting around the house for a day or 2 old day?
It's okay.
It would never last at my household.
Because when you traditionally make a bread pudding, you actually want to let the bread get stale. You want it to be crusty, not fresh. Okay?
Well, this is pretty fresh.
All right, so I am mixing everything.
That does not look like pudding.
Not yet.
I've never made pudding like that in my life, but it's looking good. But I do know when I've heard people talk about this, I've never had it before because I'm usually too full from just the meal, but I've heard people say how much they love this, and they had no idea how to cook it, and we're revealing it to you right here today on What's Cooking.
We are. And actually, it's very simple. So you see, all we did was just we blended ingredients. Okay. Now, there's 2 more steps we're going to do.
All right.
We're going to bake it. Okay. Now, we're going to bake it in what's called a water bath. All right. So all my ingredients are nice and mixed here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put them into this casserole dish. Okay, which we're going to bake in.
No butter. You're not greasing your dish. That's what I meant. There is butter in there.
Oh, there's
you don't need to grease your dish.
You got plenty of liquid in here. You got plenty of butter. You got plenty of everything that's in here already.
Okay.
Okay. So just enough.
And the purpose of, you talked about a water bath. I have no clue what a water bath is.
All right.
I see it, but I don't know what it is.
Great question. Okay. A water bath is, we're going to cook this in water, okay, that sits in another pan.
Okay.
And what you want to do is you can take any pan and you fill it up to about 3/4 of the way up, okay, before you put it in the oven. And what that does, the outside is going to get nice and crispy, but it protects the inside and keeps it nice and moist.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to take this entire thing, and what do we have the oven set at?
The oven, let's see. Let me look at the Southern Cowboy cookbook here, and let's see. This is, oven was preheated to 350 degrees.
Okay. For how long is this going to cook?
We're going to cook it for an hour or until the center is gelled but not firm or dry. And bread pudding is puffy and golden brown.
Now that's important. Now,
Beautiful.
when you bake for an hour, it's got a propensity. It's going to dry out.
Yes.
And that's what that water bath does. Is
Okay,
it
that
protects
makes
everything.
sense. Yes.
Now we made a glaze
Oh, do you
that
need
we're
to-
going to put on it.
Do I need to tell you what's in the glaze?
Tell me what's in the glaze,
Or
Mom.
actually, I'm going to tell our viewers because I
tell our
know you
viewers.
know. Okay, we've got 1 stick of butter unsalted, 1/4 cup of half and half, some vanilla, 2 teaspoons of rum. Tell me about that.
The rum gives it just a nice, interesting little flavor to it.
Okay, and then the 4 cups of 4 cups of confectioner's sugar. This is not for the faint of heart.
No, and that's what goes in icing too. That's what you're getting is a lot of confection sugar. Okay. And you heat that and you get it nice and melted. Tell you what, if we have a fork. All right, actually, I have a big spoon here.
Okay, well, we've got a fork over here.
You got one coming?
Yeah, we got a fork coming.
All right.
Thank you.
You can dip right into it. And like I said, this is our
Oh,
most
my
decadent
goodness.
of all the desserts that we have.
Is this you tasting it or is it me?
You go ahead.
I'm going to
I've had
have
it.
to go on a serious diet to lose maybe 5 pounds after this. Oh my goodness, it's
Isn't that
so
good, though?
good.
And
It's so moist.
It is, and that's what that water bath does. It protects it. And you take a look inside of there, and you'll see.
Okay.
Should be see nice and moist. But see how nice and brown the outside
know.
is. That's how you get that combination of the two.
That's amazing that it is as moist as it is, because you would think cooking in an hour, all of those ingredients, that it would be so dry. But it is moist, it is delicious, and again, it is not for the diabetic in your family.
No.
This is what, you and I were talking a little while ago about moderation. Everything in moderation. I took a bite. I might not eat the whole thing right now. I might eat that over a couple of hours,
And that's one of the secrets, especially when you're in the kitchen all the time. A couple hours. You got me.
I did. A couple of days. It is absolutely delicious. So
Good.
thank you so much for sharing your secret recipe.
You're very, very welcome.
I mean, I didn't even exactly know what bread pudding was, but that is something that we can enjoy for our families for a once in a blue moon type of special treat.
That's right.
Right?
Enjoy it.
Thank you, John.